Hi, this is Jacques Talk, and you're listening to Jacques Talk. This is a podcast where I talk about the Cowboys, the team I've covered as a beat writer, columnist, TV insider, and radio host for 28 years. I'll also talk about the NFL and the things I love, working out, streaming, food, and all things down. Welcome to Jacques Talk, where sports is fluid. What's true today might not be true an hour, a day, or a month from now. I'm going to give you the truth straight, no chaser. Glad to have you aboard. Let's get it. Hey, welcome to episode 70 of Jacques Talk. I'm Jacques Taylor, joined by my boy Big Joe in the Big Rig for episode 70, and we hope you are prepared to be entertained and dazzled for the next hour or so. What up, dog?
What up, what up?
Number 70, who comes to mind?
Zach Martin, baby.
You went new school.
Yeah, my favorite Dallas Cowboy. I was thinking wasn't my man, his name was Howard Richards or something like that for the old Dallas Cowboys or something?
Damn, you did go old. I was thinking more Leonard Davis, but that was me.
Leonard Davis?
Yeah. But I mean, if I go a little deeper, because we do these things literally off the top of our head. I would think Jim Marshall, Minnesota Vikings.
Jim Marshall, yeah.
That's probably the one that really comes to mind.
What about Leonard? What about Leonard Marshall? Wasn't he 72? For the Giants.
He played for the hated New York Giants.
Yeah,
so, to hell with him. I'm just gonna keep it real, because that's back when I was a fanboy as a kid, and he was on those teams. Got to take a moment to thank every single body who participated in the Mavs ticket giveaway. My man Kevin Johnson had a blast at the game last night. But I got to tell y'all the deal. So we tried to get the tickets to Mooney the Mayor, all right, who I don't know personally, but he's a fan of the show, and so I know him because we've communicated on Twitter quite a bit. And he's a dude like me in his 50s. He may actually be closer to 60 to 50, but he works out every day, and he posts his workouts on Twitter all the time. So we started talking like that. Now, I got to tell y'all, real talk now, this 12-letter cuss word goes is the biggest Michigan fan ever. Yeah, I said it right. So when I pull him out, I'm like, Lord Jesus, why do I have to give these tickets to a Michigan man on the year that they won a national championship for the first time since Jesus was a baby? And so, so check this out, Doc. It was a rising success, but Mooney hit me up I was setting it up, trying to say, hey, download the app so I can text you the tickets, you good to go. Mooney sent me a text with a bunch of crying emoji eyes on it, man. And then talking about my wife set up something special on Valentine's Day night I didn't know about, man. I can't go. I was like, dog, I'm sorry to hear that. I really am, because I wanted you to enjoy the experience. But clearly it proves God didn't want a Michigan man at the game.
Hey, Mooney made the right call, bro. That's why
it is what it is. When your wife set up something and you don't know about it, you're obligated to go.
Roger that.
If you set it up, you can always change your plan, set it up later, because you're going to go to the game. It's all good. I mean, you're going to take her with you, but it's all good. So I didn't have no problem with Mooney. But then I had to do a redraw. So I do a redraw, man. And I ended up this dude named Lamar Morris got the tickets. And so, I'm trying to get in touch with him. I hit him on YouTube. And then I was like, well, maybe he saw that Mooney won, and so he didn't check back. So then I found him on Facebook. Sent him a message on Facebook, tried to add him as a friend. Then I went and found him on Twitter. Added him on Twitter, sent him a direct message. Hey, hit me so I can get you these tickets. You won. There was something happened. You ended up winning, blase, blase, blase. Dog. I hadn't heard from him about 3 o'clock. I started getting nervous. So then I did another drawing, because by then I'm in my day. I'm at the Mike Zimmer press conference. I got to go teach my class. But because I hadn't talked to him before then, I took the stuff and took it with me so I could reach in and pull out another name if I needed to. So to make a long story short, I pulled out another name right as the Mike Zimmer press conference was ending, because I had to make sure if Lamar doesn't hit me, I can still get the tickets away. Because if my class started at 5 and I couldn't be doing all this stuff into my class at SMU. So I never heard from Lamar. So I pulled again. Cat named Kevin Johnson came up. And it turned out to be a good thing, because like Mooney, I know Kevin from Facebook or somewhere around there. I think I met him one time. Anyway, he's a big fan of the show. And so he got the tickets, and I sent you the video that he sent out, man.
Yeah, it was
and
cool.
I put it on social media. Tell me, dog, was his wife having a blast at the game?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because Kevin is talking about, hey, these are some great seats, and I appreciate Jacques Talk and JJT Media Group and all this other stuff, which is fantastic. His wife is dancing in the background the whole time.
Man, yeah, it's good to see people enjoy themselves, man. It was good.
It's real talk, man.
It put a smile on my face.
Did it?
Show.
That's
yeah,
good.
Oh yeah.
Because it take a lot to put a smile on your
No,
face.
not even. Stop it.
And then he threw in, because he was a Spurs fan, which I had no idea, but he was a Spurs fan, and he was like, and the Spurs are up by 2. And I was like, oh, wow. So then my class started, and I gave him a break a little bit midway through the class. I checked the score. Mavericks are up by 20-something, and they ended up winning by about 25. And so I sent him a text at the end of the night. Hey, I'm glad you enjoyed that game, blase, blase. Now, you know me. Sorry your team got his ass kicked.
Yeah.
And but anyway, point of that is he had a great time at the game. I appreciate everybody who participated in the event. It was so good. I'm contemplating whether to do it one more time. We'll see, how it goes. Whether we can get it done. We might do it again in March. We'll just see how it goes.
See, that's what makes a good contest, though. Your commitment to damn sure make sure somebody get them tickets.
Oh no, it was real, man.
Yeah, I like that. No, I like that.
It was real, now.
Yeah, people should appreciate that. I like that, though.
No, it was real. I was determined to make sure somebody win. But then they got busy with the press conference and the class and everything else. But
you can't come back on here going, nobody won.
Nah, that was not one of the options.
Yeah, that'd be some bullshit right there.
That was not one of the options right there. I always like to remind you guys that if you're ever involved in an accident and you get injured and it's not your fault, what you got to do is call 972-934-8900. That's greening law. You simply, when they pick up the phone, you simply say, hey, here's what happened to me, here's what situation, here's the details. And I'm telling y'all for real, man, if they bring you on as a client, it's been a great day for you because they will ride with you. They will take care of things for you. As I like to say, man, whenever you get involved in an insurance incident and you're going up against somebody else's big-time insurance company, that thing can be long and tedious and intimidating. It can be scary because there's a lot of unknown, especially if you haven't been through the process before. You don't know when to turn left or when to turn right. Well, Gritty Law walks you through, literally, the entire process. They hold your hand. And what I like about them is if you need a doctor, they'll set up the appointment. They'll find your doctor, set up the appointment. You need a specialist. They'll find a specialist, set up the appointment. They take care of all that stuff, man, because they really want you focused on what? 2 things. Y'all know what it is. They want you really focused on healing and renewal, all right? Get your mind right, get your body right, get your life back. That's really what it's all about. The other thing you need to know about Greening Law, and this is important, hugely important, they don't collect nothing. Not a dime, not a nickel, not a quarter. They don't get paid at all, unless you get paid. So you ain't never got to sit around and wonder, where am I on the priority list? Where am I? Are they really working my case as hard as they can? Hell yeah, they working your case as hard as they can because they're trying to get paid. They trying to get you paid. And that's what's important. So give them a call, 972-934-8900. Lock that number in your phone. If you're involved in an accident, you don't be trying to figure out what's the number, what did JJT call, what is the name again. No, lock the number in. And so then when it happens, you just hit the number, it goes right to Greening Law, you tell them the situation, and pray like hell they bring you on as a client because it makes your life considerably easier if they do. Big day with the Cowboys yesterday, man. Mike Zimmer get introduced. And I'm going to tell you just 2 things about Mike Zimmer before we call Clarence Hill of the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, brought to you each and every Friday by Smokey John's Barbecue. Zimmer seemed relaxed yesterday, man. He made some jokes, showed a lot of his personality. Now, I've known him forever. He could be a grumpy-ass dude, but he was clearly happy to be back in Dallas. I don't know how long that happy front will last because he can be spicy like Joe and like Archer. But yesterday, he was happy Zim, and that was always a good thing to see. So let's give Clarence Hill Jr. the Fort Worth Star Telegram a call. Let's hope he picks up because, he's a single man. It was Valentine's Day yesterday. There's no telling how many women got Valentines.
Really? Yeah.
While you call him up, I'm going to tell y'all something. I didn't know how to act. My 8-year-old grandson was running around trying to buy some Valentines for some little girl at school, and he had a long, detailed list.
Hello.
What's up, man? I was telling him about we're doing great. I was telling him about my grandson who spent the last 2 weeks trying to find some Valentine's Day gift for some little girl at school, including some dessert that had chocolate on one side and strawberry on the other. And while that sounds cute, and it really does, I got to tell y'all, I was very concerned that I hope he don't get his little 8-year-old heart crushed because I have no idea whether all these emotions were reciprocal or whether it was one-sided.
Well, better now than later.
I
There's
guess.
nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's part of life.
As an 8-year-old getting your heart crushed?
Oh yeah, he gonna become player after that.
It ain't crushed. You don't know crushed is. You move on, especially when you're 8. It's okay. I mean, but part of dating is rejection. I mean, you got to be able to handle rejection.
Yep.
Yep. That's part of it. Everything ain't gonna be perfect.
Sometimes no is good, and sometimes no is the best thing. Probably didn't want that anyway.
That's the approach you take. Well, he returned home from Valentine's Day, and I saw him because I had to check. I wanted to do a personal check on it since he had invested so much time in it. Just said, "Hey, how'd Valentine's Day go?" He said, "It went great." I said, "Oh, did your little friend get you something?" He said, "No, but that's okay. She didn't have to give me anything for it to be a good day. I promise you that's what he said." I said, "Oh, okay. How you feel about that?" He said, "It was okay. She got on my nerves later because she stole my pencil." I said, "She stole my pencil?" "Yeah, she took it out of my bag because she didn't have one."
He go sideways sometimes.
That's what he said,
exactly. Man. So why we invested? Well, you worried about his heart broken. She stole his pencil. This is day-to-day life of kids. I mean, come on, stop it.
Hey, man, I'm a sensitive guy. I was worried about it. So how many Valentines did you pass out as a single man yesterday?
Man, I don't know what you're talking about, man.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? You got to be private when you talk to this dude, man. Hey.
What are you talking about? It's just us. It's just us boys.
Yeah. It ain't never just us when we talking to your ass. So,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
He said he don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's like this. He categorically denies any of that.
All right. Well, I did see it. I know at least for a little while you was at the Mike Zimmer press conference yesterday. We're not going to spend too much time on that. But what's your initial impression?
He said you was there.
I mean, I saw you unless it was your doppelganger.
Oh, okay. I hear what you said. Yes, I was at the press conference. The Cowboys, but I'm going to be at the press conference for sure.
What's your initial thoughts on Zimmer and how he seemed yesterday?
I mean, it was fine. I mean, obviously the proof is in the pudding what they do on the field. I mean, none of this matters because it's a make or break season and they have to win now, but obviously Zimmer's a disciplinarian and he's going to be everybody tells him he's a good fit, but his personality is going to be a change from what they've had in the past because Dan Quinn was more of a player's coach. He was a rap aficionado. He wore Jordans, he was, related to the player. That he was a good coach and all the other stuff, but his personality is different than Mike Zimmer. So, it's going to be a shock to the system for the players and even Mike McCarthy for how Zimmer, goes about his business on a day-to-day basis, and we'll see how that works. But, I mean, Zimmer was fine. I mean, we've known Zimmer. I was here when he was here the first time. Just like you were here when he was the first time, and we know what he brings to the table, the type of personality he has. The bottom line is, he came here because of a relationship with Mike McCarthy, with familiarity with the organization. That's where he wanted to come back to. But he got to win. The Cowboys have to win next year. Mike McCarthy is the last year of his contract. Gary Jones will get all in. This should be about winning.
Oh no, it's definitely about winning. But let's dip back to the Super Bowl. I just wanted to get your thoughts on Zimmer right quick. What were your thoughts on the Super Bowl and where the game was won or lost?
I mean, it's all over the place. I mean, you could point to the special teams errors on San Francisco, ball hitting somebody's foot. I mean, they don't miss extra point. The game's won in overtime. I mean, in regulation, right? Kansas City's first touchdown came because of a muff punt or a ball hitting somebody's shoe. Because the defense had really stopped them. San Francisco left points on the board. I mean, the last two drives, this Kansas City offense, I'm not Kansas City, the 49ers offense that features Debo and great receiving core and Kittle and McCaffrey, they scored 2 field goals in the last 2 drives. The last one in regulation, the first one in overtime, they set up for field goals. They couldn't get in the end zone. They couldn't block Chris Jones in the end. The offensive genius couldn't manufacture more points. And obviously, Patrick Mahomes has always been Patrick Mahomes. He's so poised and so calm in the biggest moments. And he exposed that at the end because as much as they held the 3 points in the first half, and he took it to him in the second half, certainly in overtime. He did what he was supposed to do. So, I mean, it's all over the place. The Kansas City defense don't get enough credit for what they've done and how they play. I think the 49ers defense gets too much blame, for succumbing to the GOAT. And I don't think the 49ers offense gets enough blame for not doing what they were supposed to do, especially when the Jesus offense coordinator.
You seem to be very upset that Steve Wilkes got fired. He was the defense coordinator at San Francisco yesterday. And I just charged it to the game, man, in the sense of whenever you have a disappointing loss, that type of somebody always going to be made the scapegoat. John Lynch is not finna fire Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan not going to fire himself as offensive coordinator. There's only one other person to take some heat and be the scapegoat. That's Steve Wilkes. To me, it wasn't all that much different than Kellen Moore had the number 1 offense in the league. We lose the game. We don't want to fire Quinn. I'm not going to fire myself, Mike McCarthy. So, Kellen, I guess you out.
Well, I hear you, and I would say that losing in the playoffs and losing the Super Bowl, I don't know how many defensive coordinators get fired for losing the Super Bowl. I would say the Eagles defensive coordinator gave up more points to the Chiefs last year than Wilkes gave up to the Chiefs this year, and he got a head coaching job, and he got undressed on that final drive. If you remember.
I think they got fined for tampering. They already had that deal in place. They couldn't back out.
That all that's fine. I'm just telling you that I don't know how many defense coordinators been fired after the Super Bowl. I've seen people get fired after losing first round, second round playoff game, but after the Super Bowl, after you had the third best defense in the league, and I don't. You held Patrick Mahomes to 3 points in the first half. I don't see that. Obviously, they need a scapegoat, and Wilkes was a scapegoat. And my thing with Wilkes is that he's been done dirty. He was done dirty in Arizona. He was the head coach, one and done. First one and done coach ever. He was done dirty in Carolina, when he took over as interim coach, and it led them to almost to the playoffs. And they fired him and bring in a new staff. They fired him before the season's over. He should have been able to get that Carolina job. He goes to San Francisco and gets fired after taking his team to the Super Bowl. So it's a dirty game. It's all messed up. Everybody got their reasons. Wasn't a good fit. All that stuff. It's just Wilkes was done dirty.
Now you see all the San Francisco girlfriends and mamas and brothers out there complaining about their game now.
Everybody complaining about the game.
But see, it ain't no different than Dallas. All these in the world that we live in, your relatives gonna moan and groan if you lose a big game. And it's not just Dallas; it's everywhere.
No, it's drama. Yeah, one of the Kansas City, one of the 49ers offensive linemen blame another offensive lineman for letting Chris Jones
Right.
leak through there and get the pressure on the final play. And it's another example. It's funny because everything always gets back to Dallas, but compared to Dallas. But Chris Jones is an example of he didn't have any sex in the game, but he had made a big time impact. You don't
Yeah.
always have to have sex to make an impact.
He was whooping
You know,
everybody. I don't know what that
yeah.
dude talking about. He flipped sides and whooped everybody.
We'll whoop to everybody.
Yeah.
And another thing that needs to be said, and Brock Purdy wasn't hurt. He played a solid game, but he left points on the field. And it was a classic example of a game manager and a guy who is the system. Patrick Mahomes is the system, and certainly Brock Purdy is a system quarterback and a game manager. But Patrick Mahomes is a different maker. He's the system. He makes everything go, and that's what people are talking about. And certainly we give Brock Purdy credit for how well he played and how well he's played as being Mr. Relevant. But the people that try to make him great, make him a difference maker, that's what's gone too far. He's a good quarterback. He runs the system well. But again, that offense could have won that game. They scored 3 points in the final 2 drives.
Yeah, I mean, but it's interesting because we say that, and I'm not necessarily disputing it, but some dude missed a block, and so Chris Jones gets a free run to block Purdy and hits him, and that's why he don't hit Ayuk in the end zone for a touchdown. And so if some dude makes his block, because Ayuk is wide open, and we assume he catches it, and maybe they win, everything's different. But that's how close it is between your legend and your legendary status. Some dude missed a block,
and we've seen many times they throw with people in their face. I mean, that's part of being a quarterback. I've seen people make throws, championship throws, with pressure in their face as well.
He wasn't in his face. He hit him.
I mean, it's the same reason Josh Allen didn't make the throw in Buffalo.
Yeah,
dude, but that's what we're talking about. It's it's a matter of inches between winning and losing and everything else.
And you had the other one where he overthrew Debo in the end zone. I mean, there was a couple of times they had a guy wide open in the end zone that didn't hit.
I think Chris Jones got him that time too.
No, he did. Chris Jones was tearing stuff up.
Yeah,
but the other thing is Mahomes is by far the best player and the best quarterback in the league, best player in the league.
Oh yeah.
Everybody else is a step down. So, I mean, it's like, well, Dak can't do this, like Mahomes. Okay, nobody can do it like Mahomes.
Right.
So,
he's
one of the greats of all time.
I would never argue that he ain't a system quarterback. I ain't saying that at all. I agree with you on that. It's just, man, like I say, the narrative would have changed a little. He still would have been a system quarterback if they won the game.
Everybody's a system quarterback. Some people can just play in every system. They're bigger than the system. But that's why they Hall of Famers. That's why they the elite of the elite.
That's a long conversation right there. Because I think if Patrick if he ain't with Andy Reid, I don't know if he is as successful as he is.
You know what I was gonna say, dog? And it is a long conversation. But I mean,
who else gonna coach him? Who else gonna bring him in this league and coach him like that? Let him do what he do. I think a lot of coaches would have. First, they wouldn't have took him. And the second, they would have tried to coach a lot of stuff he do out of him. The damn 40-yard pass in the air that he threw to McCole Hardman across his body. Yeah, coaches ain't going to let him do that. I mean, it wasn't.
Well, here's the deal, man.
When he's 6 years, first of all, he's 6 years in. It's one thing to say, hey, you're going to let him do that his first year. 6 years in, yeah, you're going to let him do that. Okay, because you know who he is. I mean, I just think that, I hear you, and I want to give Andy Reid credit, and he should get credit. But Andy Reid just sniffles a Super Bowl title to Patrick Mahomes.
Well, I believe in the lightning in a bottle theory. When you got two guys work together and they do good work together, keep their ass together. It's the team. You got your Phil Jackson and your Michael Jordan. You got your hell. Go back to Mike Dick and Jim McMahon. What they do apart. Just stuff like that. If you got it together, Jimmy Johnson being here, You got it together. You got to keep the band together, and it takes that.
I agree, but I just push back on. I mean, Peyton Manning won in Denver. I mean, great quarterbacks are going to succeed. And I think that Patrick Mahomes is a great quarterback, independent of Andy Reid. I mean, we have too much evidence, and it's not just the stuff he does off schedule, that you're talking about. It's just his calm, it's his demeanor, the instincts that he has. That's greatness. That had nothing to do with it. His instincts, his calm in the fourth quarter, 2-minute drive that's him.
Put him on David Carr's Houston Texans and see how much calm he got.
He would have a lot of calm because
he'd be getting his ass waylaid just like David Carr. You can't be calm when they hitting you 68 times in a season.
He got waylaid at Tech. Okay, that's who he is. He did not have the best athletes running at Tech.
Okay,
and he put up numbers. He went toe to toe with the OU, the team, and put up astronomical numbers. That's where the calm is taught. Okay, he never had the best players around him. You look at now, and when he first won, he had Tyreek Hill. Now he's winning with just guys at receiver. He doesn't take, you talk about that deep throw, but that's not been part of his game the last couple of years since Tyreek left. He's been nickel and diming down the field with short throws to these receivers and throws on the tight end. I mean, he's won in days because of who he is. I mean, I just think you're taking something away from him by saying
I ain't taking nothing away from him. I'm not taking nothing away from him. I'm saying coaching matters.
It does matter. It matters big time. But great players matter, and what he brings to the table is him. He's one of one.
I think I think both of y'all are kind of right, but I think it's a situation where it's what you hope for as a player and as a coach. It's a perfect storm. You get the right player, and that's what makes most Hall of Famers. It's the right player in the right system with the right coaching. And that's when you get the perfect storm and you get everything working the right way. Because I always said, would Joe Montana be Joe Montana that we know if he was with the Raiders and their whole offense is built on throwing a deep ball? I don't think so. But
then I go, he don't throw the deep ball.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
What do you say?
That's what we're talking about. He had to go to the right system to enhance his greatness. I mean, if you look at Troy Aikman will tell you, along with Emmett and Michael, we didn't do nothing with David Shula as a coordinator because he couldn't figure out how to unlock us. Norv Turner come, and he unlocks all of us because of his approach to the game.
But David Shula was trash. I mean, what has David Shula ever done as a coordinator?
Okay, check this out. If that's your tough look to get drafted to a trash organization.
But that's part of being a good coach, being adaptable to your players, not worrying about the system. It's the Jimmy's and Joe's.
You answering the question.
You making my point for me.
You making the point.
So
if David Shula got Pat Mahomes,
you got to let him calm down, Jacques.
I'm fine. I'm just saying that obviously it's both. There's no question. Andy Reid is part of it.
That's what we were saying.
But what I'm saying is to say that if he went somewhere else he wouldn't have success. I think that's wrong. I think he would be great anywhere. Greatness is within him. I think he'll be great anywhere.
All right.
That's my point. I mean, I think that he would be great in any system with any coach who knows how to coach.
But he in a system with a coach that you talking in circles, dog.
No, I'm not. Because
what if he went to a system with a coach who didn't know how to coach?
Well, right. But my point is that's part of coaching. We can debate about whether great coaches are about the system, about the players. There are a lot of coaches who are rigid and this is what we do, this is how we do it, no matter who the players is. Great coaches adapt, okay? And with Patrick Mahomes, if you don't adapt to who he is, you're not a great coach.
Dude.
So Patrick Mahomes is great is anywhere because that's who he is. He's a great quarterback. The things he brings to the table are not taught.
Okay. Yeah, you know what?
Yeah, we'll talk about your ass after you leave.
No, I ain't gonna talk about. Hell no, I'm talking about. I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna talk about your ass
You
now.
talk about me now.
No.
I mean, I watched the kids.
You refuse to answer the question.
No, I
You
understand.
keep changing the question.
You
the
moving
question
No, I'm
is,
not saying. I mean,
listen. The question is, what if Pat Mahomes had gone to a coach who couldn't coach because they exist and at a bad organization? Then
that coach get
he'd be
fired?
like Archie.
Else?
He'd be like Archie Manning.
Okay.
Did that coach get fired? Did they go get somebody else like North Turner?
He would be
unlike the greatness.
He would be Josh Allen. That's who the hell if he went somewhere where they can't coach. Yeah. That's because he'd have all the tools. He'd still be great, but he wouldn't be winning them damn Super Bowls because he'd be Josh Allen. That's the difference between.
But they win Super Bowls because of the team.
No. They win Super Bowls because they got lightning in the bottom. They got good coach. They got good coaches, good system. They got good players, and they know how to use them. It's damn simple.
Again, it's like the margin of error is so.
Go ahead and make my point for me again because you keep doing that.
No, I'm not making your point. The margin of error is so finite, just like we pointed out in this 49ers game. There are ways, as great as Mahomes was, I can point to the 49ers being the biggest culprit of why they lost. The things they did to beat themselves.
Yeah, because Mahomes was not great early in the game.
No, there's a lot of things that they didn't even take advantage of his interception. I mean, there are a lot of things the 49ers did. And then so you bring up Josh Allen. There are a lot of things that happened for Josh Allen why they lost had nothing to do with his greatness. You go back to that game.
Where you going? Because you moving way off the point of the damn conversation.
Allen, like that was like if he wouldn't have really be Josh Allen. I mean, there are a lot of reasons that people win other than that, but I mean that has nothing to do with it. Josh Allen is great. He's going to be great. He's going to be Hall of Fame himself.
If you flip him, Josh Allen wins. If you flip Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, because you're not.
I don't know that, and I'm not going to say that because Patrick Mahomes is one.
I'm going to say it. I'm saying.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, you don't have to say it. I'm going to say it. You can disagree too, but I'm going to say that because it makes a difference. Andy Reid does not coach. I'm telling you, the way Patrick Mahomes plays, a lot of guys would try to coach him out of that.
And that's fine. And so they would coach Josh Allen all those turnovers too. Then
they trying. That's why Dorsey got his ass fired. That's why his offensive coordinator is sitting at the house right now.
He was at on turnovers all those coaches. He was the one that's with the Giants too. I mean, it is who he is. But hey, again, we can agree to disagree. That's fine. They're both great. Andy Reid is one of the greatest, if not the greatest coaches ever. It has to do with his adaptability. He got fired in Philadelphia because he couldn't win. He goes to Kansas City and he wins because of Patrick Mahomes. You say Patrick Mahomes won because of him. Why? He won because of Patrick Mahomes. It's all the same. They're both going to be in the Hall of Fame. They're going to both be considered the greatest to ever do it. When all is said and done, it is what it is.
I guess he told you.
Nah, I don't know. People don't realize sometimes I know how to just shut up. That's what I did.
I said they're both great. So it is.
That's my point. All right.
I didn't say they weren't great.
All right, then.
Before we let you go,
hey man, you know I love you, right? You still my boy.
I love you too.
That's
why don't y'all send each other Valentine?
No, ain't nobody wouldn't even like that, dog. What you doing? Go ahead, dog.
What's next for the Cowboys? I mean, they got to figure out what they're going to do with Dak Prescott, and you know, and then we can debate all day, you know.
Yeah, we ain't got time for that conversation today.
But they got to figure out what they're going to do with the cap figure. I mean, that's number one. Obviously, you know, finish out the coaching staff, but you got to decide what you're going to do with Dak Prescott. You gonna let him go on to the last year under this deal and chance him walking, or you going to extend him and keep him for the future? You have to decide that. Is he your quarterback for the future? And you're going to extend him to lowest cap figures. You can sign other players. CeeDee Lamb wants a deal now, okay? And you got to you do need to add players to this roster. They're right now they're $19 million over the cap. They have to get under the cap. And then they have to have cap room to sign other players, add to the team, and also extend CeeDee Lamb. And Dak Prescott domino has to fall first.
What's your gut say?
My gut says that they extend Dak. But right. I think it's all on the table. I think everything decision is not made. But my gut says they extend Dak.
Yeah, we'll roll with that. All right, that's a good stopping point. We'll have more intriguing conversation next week about Dak Prescott.
I just want to say, hey man, wherever you go, you legendary, man. Wait. Before I get off this planet, I got to party with you, dog. Hey man, everywhere you go, you have a good time, man. I saw the pictures the other day. Yeah.
He legendary now.
Oh yeah,
he even got me. He even had me dancing one time with Queen Latifah.
Oh, he had you dancing.
On the dance floor with Queen Latifah.
Hey man, this dude.
Matter of fact, I pushed Bruce Smith out the way so I could dance with Queen Latifah.
She said Queen Latifah said, "Man, this dude got 2 left feet." That was what she said.
Might have said something else.
Yeah.
Nobody said I could dance, but I was out there.
Hey, dog. He said, Clarence. He said he like Usher. He don't love Usher, dog. What's wrong with him, dog? That tell me you can't dance right there.
we worked on that 2-step. I said,
there you go.
Stay in your steps. Just stay in your lane, man. Stay right here.
Every man got to have a good
Just stay right here.
Yeah,
left, right. Stay right here.
Yeah, some guys don't have. They think they can do more than the 2-step and they look bad. But yeah,
I was that guy for a long time.
Yeah, you got to stay in your lane. I saw you.
Now I can stay in my lane now, man.
I saw you dance at your wedding. And it looked like your first wedding. I saw you dance, and it looked like the second wedding.
Thank you.
Look like you look like
I've been weddings this been.
Yeah,
it's 2, baby.
It looked like you was doing calisthenics when you was dancing.
You know what, man?
Yeah.
We still got some more to show. Otherwise, I'd tell you to.
Yeah, you can tell me.
No, because every time I tell you that, you get mad at me for a week and a half.
No, it's all good. But
make love to yourself. How about that?
I don't even know what that means.
All right, man.
Boy, that boy go off the rails, Clarence. I can't keep him on there, dog. I can't keep him on the rails. I do the best I can, man. That's all I can say.
All right. We'll talk to you later, Chill.
All right, fellas. All right. Enjoy y'all day.
Yes, sir.
That's Clarence Hill Jr. Brought to you each and every Friday.
I think he done stepped into something when he get on here.
He has, man. Yeah. Brought to you each and every Friday by good friends at Smokey John's Barbecue, home of the Jam Session Bowl. They had Smoke Wing Wednesday yesterday. I came dangerously close to rolling through between the time the press conference ended and the time my class started at SMU for some smoked wings. Would have been delicious. Would have been delicious. That being said, go by Smokey John's. Let them give you that mouthful of love. Because the Jam Session Bowl is something to live for. It's a mac and cheese or mashed potato base. I really like the mashed potato base better. Mac and cheese is good, but the mashed potato base is just love in your mouth. That's what that is. And so they give you 2 out of 5 smoked meats. I like to rock with the brisket and the sausage. Oh, I almost said something. And then they put everything you find on a loaded baked potato. Chives and butter and bacon bits, cheese, sour cream. And then they say you want to drench it. You want to drizzle it with that sauce. Either way is outstanding. And it's enough for 2, easy. If you got a little short, it's enough for 3, no problem. And it is love in your mouth. Almost made me cuss, man. It's delicious. Jam Session Bowls out of this world, man. And so, if you want some Smokey John's in your life a little more frequently, you can go to the website, SmokeyJohns.com, go to the marketplace, click on it. You can order the rub or the sauce, have it delivered to your house in a couple of days. If you need it more immediately than that, check this out, man. You can go to H-E-B, all over Dev Dub. Pick up the rub right there, have it in your house. I put it on some popcorn the other day. I put it on some steak. I mean, it's an all-purpose rub. It is fantastic. And it is love in your mouth. Smokey John's Barbecue, 1820 West Mockingbird. Swing through there, show them some love, and enjoy the food. What's your schedule today, man? You want to roll today?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. You coming by here? What you doing?
Now, why don't you come over here? We'll just roll over there.
Nah, I'm going. You know what? I'm going with Ain't Minnie, dog. When you see us, you
call
gonna see
Ain't Minnie. Call and see what she doing today.
Ain't Minnie work too.
She ain't got a lunch break?
I don't know. I had to call her.
Call and see, man. Let's get Aunt Minnie over there.
Okay.
Come on. YOLO, man.
Oh, I'm thinking, shit, you want me to call her right now? I don't know.
Send her text. She answered text messages. I saw Mike Zimmer answer the phone on his watch the other day, so I know if he could do it, anybody can be down with the technology.
I done told you Ain't Minnie a force of nature, dog. Ain't Minnie got that technology and all that. She good.
Hey, man, text Aunt Minnie, see if she can get down, and let's take a quick trip around the block.
Around the block.
Now this is going to be a tough conversation. Well, maybe not. Let me not say it like that. It should be an interesting conversation because I'm interested in your opinion on this. The Chiefs in a parade yesterday, and you had yet again a mass shooting. You had 1 dead, more than 20 wounded, 9 of them seriously. 9 kids were shot, and man, this is an interesting conversation between us because I don't really have a solution. All I know is this, as it relates to gun control and whatever, that it's ridiculous that we claim to have the best country in the world, the most sophisticated country in the world, yet we're the only country in the world that has these types of mass shootings on a regular basis. And I don't really know what the solution is, but I do know that the people who have the power to change it, being politicians, are so concerned with their own deal that in their own self, taking care of themselves, that they aren't going to put in any laws that have anything that's going to take this away. Now, I say that with knowing that I don't even know what you're saying. So what's your take on all of that?
Talking about gun control?
I'm talking about gun control and mass shootings, and is there anything that can be done in a short conversation to kind of curb it? Because it's ridiculous that we have these things on such a regular basis.
That's such a.
I mean, I know it's a big question.
It is a big question. Man, as a shooter and a gun owner. Man, it's hard. It's a hard question for me to answer because, on one hand, I say, look, you got to have a license. You got to register your car.
Right.
Why not register your firearms or have a license for your firearms, especially the bigger ones? Handguns, man, I have so many thoughts. It's just not, I saw the notes, but I didn't think you would ask me a question like this because I have so many. I don't want to say the wrong thing, or I don't want to.
You can't say the wrong thing.
Yeah, you can, because I have so many thoughts with that. Because I'm a gun guy.
Well, that's why you're a good person to talk to, because you're a gun guy.
Not necessarily. I don't
David,
want
the content guy, is a gun guy.
Well,
I'm not a gun guy, but I'm not opposed to you having your gun.
But it's so many different. It's so many. Here's the thing with guns: the way David own guns, the way I own guns, 2 different things. It's just varied. It's kind of like having a car. I'm gonna keep my gun, my weapons as is, and some people customize theirs, and some people buy guns for protection, and some people buy guns because they are cool, and some people don't understand why you gotta have 7 or why you gotta have 25 or why you got
same reason why you gotta have. Some people got 6 cars. That's what you like. That's what you do. Why I got 100 pair of tennis shoes?
Are you telling me? Or are you asking me?
Both.
Okay, because you can ask me, but you can't tell me. And if you ask me, I'm telling you, people have these damn guns because they cool, because they can. It's just become it's like, why have 1 tattoo? Why not have 20? And then some people have guns for different reasons. Me myself, I have guns for different reasons. I don't have them because I like it. Well, I do actually love them, but I have them because I have a long shotgun for this. I have a short shotgun for this. I have a compact pistol for this. I have a 45 for this. So it's just different reasons you buy them. But to say what you need to do, I think you got to register. I think your weapons should be registered. And a lot of people say, oh, no. I say, if you got to register a car, get a license for a car, for you to have an AR or a big gun or something like that, you should have to register that thing. Or you should have to get a license for that thing or get some training for that thing. Because a car is less lethal than a gun, but you can kill people. But you got to get a license. You got to get trained. Maybe you should be requirement for that. And then you shouldn't be allowed to sell guns. Here's the problem too. If you're allowed to sell, like if I buy a gun, right, and I sell it to you, you don't have to register that thing. You don't. It doesn't ever have to come out of my name. You can register that,
but you don't have to.
Nope. But what happens is you commit a crime with that gun. It comes back. It's going to be in my name. They're going to say, hey, who did you sell it to? And then they start tracking it for that. But, a lot of people get guns, get guns like that because they leave other people's hands, You know how many times people in a recession or they low on money say, hey, man, I got a pistol cost me $900. I need $500 a day for rent, car payment, or whatever. Can you give me $5?
Yeah.
I don't know.
See them all at the pawn shop.
Well, I'm not talking about it. But when you go to the pawn, when you sell them at the pawn shop, you have to. For if I put my gun in the pawn shop and I go get it out, I have to do a background check.
Right.
So the pawn shop is not the problem, because when you buy a gun from the pawn shop, you're supposed to do a background check.
Right.
When you get your own gun out of the pawn shop, you got to do a background check. So that's not the problem. I'm talking about from person to person.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's how a lot of bad people get weapons. It goes from person to person. That's a problem. If you sell a gun to somebody, you should have to report that shit.
What is it that you love about guns?
What is I love about guns?
Yeah.
Kind of like shooting a basketball. You shoot a gun, the more practice you get a gun, the better you shoot. Probably because I slept with guns. I ate with guns. I didn't love guns before I went in the military.
I was just about to ask you that.
Yeah, so, when somebody is screaming at you and you learning how to take something apart, and I was never really a mechanically inclined guy. Right. Until I went to the military and started messing with all them gadgets. Now, I'm still not with a car and all of that. I'm not the mechanic, but you know me when it comes to gadgets and fixing stuff and troubleshooting and stuff like that, I'm pretty good because that's what I learned. But, yeah, so, I don't know. I probably walked around here with my AR letting the boat go two or three, 4 or 5 times, 'Cause my wife is she's probably the best person in the world because let me tell you a story about the time I was cleaning my shotgun, my Mossberg, and I was pumping the shells out, and she was over there. She goes, look, make sure you pick up all them bullets. She called them bullets. Make sure you pick up all them bullets because I found one under the couch when I was vacuuming. I said, okay. You do realize I have a loaded shotgun in my hand and you talking crazy. She said, I don't care. Make sure you pick them damn bullets up. That's a woman for you. That's a keeper right there. See what I'm saying? That's a keeper right there. So I don't know. I feel like I'm going all over the place, and I feel like I hope I answered your question. I think you need to register that stuff and don't allow people to just sell without registering that. And I know a lot of gun owners will talk about government. Like, say if I bought a shotgun from David right now.
Right.
I don't have to report that. Shotguns are not included in that where you got to report anyway. It's not considered as lethal or dangerous as a pistol for some reason, but if David sold me a pistol, he don't know my record. He don't know if I'm a bad guy or not, but I put the money in his hand, it's mine.
Right.
No register, no nothing. Nobody knows nothing.
Right.
I've sold guns to people and bought them back. Years later, they didn't want it. I bought them back.
Right.
But you exchange, that's kind of the way weapons get into people's hands. Is it's all about that money. So I don't know, man. I don't know what kind of security you can run at a parade. You know, people just get crazy at these different venues, you know. And it's not just guns. What about the Boston Marathon? What kind of security you gonna run for people that, you know, that are gathering like that? You know, for them guys not to bomb it, you know. What kind of security you gonna run for somebody that jump in a damn car and drive through a damn crowd and kill 30 people with a car, you know? You can't. I don't know how you can stop it. It's just evil. But the gun stuff at a parade, well, what can you do about that? At a school, yeah. Schools.
Yeah, I think go ahead.
No, schools, yeah. Police training and all that, like in Uvalde. You know, now they want to get serious. You know, better pay for a policeman, better pay for security, and you get better people working the job. I was a truck driver. I made a lot more money than a policeman. And the policeman got to run to the sound of danger.
Right.
Run to the sound of danger. Think about that. Not look over there and go, hey, they can't call nobody and say, hey, go do that. They run to, you know, so, no, I'm pro-police like that. I got family that's police. And I pray for them all the time. Because they, you know, I don't know. We start getting into all of that. Now you go off the deep end, but.
No, I think I try to keep it contained, and to me, the single biggest question is, why can we stop having these mass shootings? What can you do to stop these mass shootings? And I think, you know, having gun registration and all that, that's a step in the right direction. But, you know, I just wish that the people in charge of the country, the politicians, really cared enough to make something happen. Because when they care about something, and it's not much that they care about, when they care about something, they can make it happen. But there's so much money involved and so much, you know, lobbying and all this involved that people's own self-interest take over. And nobody wants to make a hard choice amongst the people who are put in a position to make hard choices. You know? Yeah,
it's like I said, it's a big question because when you start talking about guns in general, what kind of guns they use at the parade? Was they handguns? Was they rifles? They probably was handguns because you bring a rifle to a parade, that's just gonna have people freaking out already. But then you start talking about ARs and 30-round magazines and stuff like that. See, it's a different kind of mass shootings, it's different kind of weapons that are used, and so it's different kind of laws that go into place. You know, different kind of, you know, bans and stuff like that. I don't think anybody. I don't think anybody civilian should have a bump stock. I don't think. I think if you have a weapon with a 30-round magazine, you should get licensed and get some damn training and realize the maximum effective range of that. You don't need to be shooting a burglar in your house with an AR-15 because what's the maximum effective range of that? Probably about 200 meters, maybe. I'm rounding up. But so that's going to go through your house into your neighbor's house. You know, so you need to know that you need some distance between your house. My best protection weapon is probably one of them Mossbergs. You know, they're double-odd buck. I don't know. I ain't trying to give away too much stuff, but that's you're going to get the business. You know, and a lot of people glorify shooting. That's a dreadful feeling, but I don't know. It's a big question, man, just for me to give you an answer. That's why I turned the damn music off. That's some somber shit right there. You know, to me.
Nah, I feel you. Well, this is what I was looking at. This is kind of what I was talking about in just looking at the big picture. And my whole question, and then we'll let it go and talk about something else. But my whole question is, you know, if I get rid of these daggone, and I couldn't do it, so y'all bear with me a second. You know, sometimes, man, I mean, these computers, you know, with these, everything got to have everything got 27 ads before you can get to what you're trying to get to. Which is this. List of countries with the most mass shootings. So all I'm talking about is mass shootings. How can we curb that? 101 in the U.S., 21 in Russia, 8 in France, 5 in Germany, 4 in Canada, 3 in Finland, 2 in Belgium, 2 in the Czech Republic, 2 in Italy, 2 in the Netherlands. Why do we have 5 times as many as anywhere else and 10 times more than basically the rest of the world?
Well, how was the West won? I mean,
okay, I understand all that. I'm just saying.
What do you say? God created man. The man who created Coke made man equal. The man who created Coke 45 made. I mean, it's American to have guns. It's crazy, but that's just what it is. It's a gun country. It's a gun culture.
No, it is.
This is gun culture.
This is very true.
I know people that own 25 guns. 25. I know people with own 30, got a safe full of guns.
I mean, I'm not even. That don't even necessarily bother me. I'm really just talking about mass shootings.
What I'm saying is the other countries probably have stricter gun control, and it's not a gun culture. That's why we have more mass shootings like that. I mean, how can a guy? That makes
sense to me intellectually.
Huh?
Intellectually, that makes sense to me. I'm just trying to figure out,
Well,
I'm tired of reading about mass shootings.
Yeah, we all are, and that's why I say with watching the Uvalde stuff was hard because them guys didn't have the training to do what they do, and I know that we talked, me and a bunch of my buddies in the service talked about that. You got to be willing to put your soul at hazard. Sometimes your pay ain't saying that. Sometimes your training ain't saying that. Sometimes your experience ain't saying that. We talked about, I probably would have been like this if I don't know about them, but a lot of guys will tell you if I need one more person to go with me in Uvalde, we're gonna go 2 by 2, and we're gonna go in there, and we know we probably gonna die, but let's go in there anyway. And a lot of them guys didn't know what to do. It's a whole clusterfuck because nobody's in command and they not trained for that. And the problem with policing is they got to do policing. They can't be like the military and just train for situations and train, but they got to do policing every day. I don't know. I start talking. I start talking about a lot of my views, and people don't necessarily agree with that, but.
It's not really about to agree or disagree.
Yeah, well, I'm conflicted because I'm a gun guy, and I hate the gun shootings, and I hate to see kids. I hate to see innocent people die, but I damn sure don't want you to take my guns. You start taking my shit, start talking about taking my shit. No, I'm not down with that because I'm responsible with my shit. I'm not that guy. I'm not that guy that's irresponsible with my shit. You understand? That's my problem.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I got you. Now let's move back on to football. How about that?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to probably go back to counseling today. But all right.
Mike Zimmer.
I'll be at the VA today.
Mike Zimmer had his press conference yesterday. We threw out. We didn't walk around the block, man.
Okay, man. I'm just saying, man. You got me all jacked up right now. But go ahead. I'm gonna be back with you in a second.
That's right. Keep calm in the midst of the storm. So Mike Zimmer had his press conference yesterday, lasted about 28 minutes, and I thought it was very interesting. It was a relaxed Zimmer, it was a calm Zimmer, it was a happy to be coaching again Zimmer, and that's all good. And he answered a bunch of questions. Answered the Michael question, which said he's a great athlete, seen him make a lot of athletic plays. Has some thoughts on what to do with him, but certainly is going to share them with the media before he shares them with Micah. That's spoken like a guy who's been a head coach before and understands that communication is the key. And you got to communicate with your players, make sure they understand what's going on. Don't let them catch anything by surprise. And I thought that was a good first step for him. The other thing he touched on, he touched on a lot of things that he changed. And here's what he said when my man Kevin Sherrington of Dallas Morning News asked him, well, is there anything the same about you? Because you keep talking about all this stuff you've changed.
Competitiveness, probably being technique-oriented, being fundamental, disciplined. Those are the kind of things that kind of get me grouchy.
Grouchy is a good word, but that's what he is, and I think Joe will appreciate it the most, probably, people like Joe will appreciate it the most next year when they play, because they'll be fundamental. What else they'll be, but they'll be technically sound, fundamentally sound, and they'll be in the right spot to make plays, and whether they make them or not, we'll see what happens. But I think that's what he does. I mean, he talked yesterday about, I'm all about hand placement and shoulder height and all this other stuff, which ain't nothing but technical football. Remember the story I told y'all last week about making sure Roy Williams' toe was pointed in the right direction when he started to pursue somebody. It's that level of detail that he's all about. And, the other thing about Zimmer is he's incredibly demanding. And you say, well, what does that mean? That means do it and do it right. Not do it and do it right every time. Not 8 out of 10 times or 9 out of 10 times. 10 out of 10 times you got to do it right from a technique standpoint. Now, physically, sometimes you just get overwhelmed by another player. But technically, we got to do it right every single time. And when you get a defense doing that as a unit, most of the times you have a good defense, and that's what he's had over the years. There is no perfect defense, but he'll get his guys to play as well as they can play most of the time. And really, I think that's for the most part all you can ask from a defense coordinator.
Yeah, one of the things I like about Zimmer is that some employers or some bosses or some coaches, they'll let you go without telling you exactly what they want from you, what's expected of you. They'll fire you or cut you or whatever. Mike will let you know. I watched a couple of clips on him since they started talking to him, and he pulled one guy in the office. I think it was Hard Knocks or something. They pulled him in the office and say, "Hey, what do you expect from yourself?" He goes, "I'm gonna try to be the best backup I can be." He goes, "Nope, I want you to prepare to be a starter. I want you to say I'm just as good as the person in front of me, even if you ain't. I want you to feel like that. I expect you to prepare like a starter." I don't think homeboy ever got it together, and he was gone. So what more can you expect, from a guy? And I like the bag of tricks that he brings, because I don't remember the defense he ran in Minnesota was like a gap system where they blitzed the gaps and they lined up in the gaps, and then they fooled you who was coming, who didn't come. I didn't see that in Cincinnati. I didn't see that in Dallas. He just brought he just got a wide bag of tricks. He went to a whole different defense in Minnesota, and it was pretty damn good.
Right.
And so I'm anxious to see what he do, with this. I think whether it works out or not, I'm signing on to that hire. It's a good hire. I think it's a good hire. Whether it remains to be seen whether it work out, but I'm on board with that. So.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. I think his personality will be good for the team. Sometimes, man, you need some dudes with an edge. You don't need everybody to have an edge. You don't need every staff full of people with an edge. But sometimes, man, it's good to have cats with an edge who push you. This is just a small example. My dude, I work out with two guys in the morning, and one of them is that edge guy. And so we had a killer workout this morning, dog. Killer. And at the end, he says, "Hey, let's just do this finisher." Now, first, I gave him the side eye like, 12-letter cuss word, we done worked our ass off this morning. We good. Okay, fine, let's do a finisher. Now, he don't come, and finisher is just where you really just push yourself the last few minutes. And the finisher he decided was, let's do some triceps extensions for 2 minutes while the other person does full push-ups. And full push-ups for us is when you get down in chest position, you take your hands off the ground very quickly and put it back so that you actually start from the bottom and go all the way up to the top. I said, 2 minutes? He said, yeah. I said, dog, come on, man. He said, come on, man. Let's push ourselves, JJT. I was like, man, you full of shit. But then what did I do, dog? I went down there and did it because you needed somebody to get you and push, somebody with some edge, somebody to move you when you're not quite ready to move yourself. And at the end, I was sore as hell, and I cussed him out of my head a million times during them 2 minutes. but we got it done. I think Zimmer can bring that to the Cowboys defense. And sometimes you just need just a little bit of edge from a few other people, and that can make up, and get you where you're trying to go. So I think you're right. We'll see. But I like Zimmer. I think he's a good hire. I know him. I know what he's all about. And I wish him success. And now it's just about whether they can put the pieces together, add a couple things, and see if they can make this defense championship worthy. Or at least championship game worthy. How about that?
Yeah, everything going to be about the playoffs. They can win. They can go 16-0 and be everybody going to be like, so.
No, that's true.
What y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do?
Everybody know the deal. Guess what, man? The players and the coaches know that that's the deal.
Yeah.
So their problem is they just have to get there, and because you can be focused so much on the playoffs that you forget you got to play the regular season.
Yeah, I was just about to say you got to take one game at a time. But as a fan, we gonna be like, hey, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's like when you can't do like Madden, just simulate the games, get to the playoffs. You have to actually play them.
Yeah.
All right. But, we always want to appreciate Green and Law. Show doesn't happen without them. You can find me on Twitter, at JJT Journalist. I am Jean-Jacques Taylor is the handle. Go subscribe, like, leave us a comment on the YouTube show, at The Real Jacques Talk. That's also where you can find us on IG. Smoky John's Barbecue. If you got some time today, go sample the Jam Session Bowl. It's love in your mouth. Until we chat again, you guys be blessed.